When institutions stop listening, satire becomes rebellion. Today, we dive into an issue that rocked the nation, especially the unemployed youth. You are watching Dr. Ramesh now, and I am Dr. Ramesh. If you are watching this channel for the first time, please like, share, and subscribe. Let us begin. Segment 1. The insult that backfired. India has a young population, very young. Millions of graduates, millions of job seekers, millions trying to survive in one of the most competitive societies on earth. And increasingly, millions asking uncomfortable questions online through RTIs, through YouTube, through expos, through Instagram reels, through independent journalism. But then came a movement that stunned the country. Inside the Supreme Court of India, the Chief Justice allegedly compared certain people attacking the system through media, social media, and RTI activism to cockroaches and parasites. And instantly something snapped. Because for many young Indians, this didn't sound like criticism of a few individuals. It sounded like the system looking down on an entire generation. Segment 2. Why this hit different? See, unemployment statistics are just numbers on television, but reality feels different. Reality is an engineering graduate preparing for government exams for 6 years, a law student unable to find work, a postgraduate applying for jobs that barely pay enough to survive. India's growth story is real, but so is the frustration underneath it. And when opportunities shrink, people naturally turn toward the only power they still have, their voice. That is why RTI activism became important. That's why social media became political. That's why young Indians increasingly use the internet not just for entertainment but for accountability. So when people heard the Chief Justice allegedly suggest that unemployed youth drift into activism and social media to attack the system, many didn't hear a legal observation. They heard contempt. Contempt for dissent, contempt for criticism, contempt from ordinary frustration. Segment 3. The clarification. The next day, the Chief Justice issued a clarification. He said the media had misunderstood his comments. According to him, the remarks were aimed specifically at individuals using fake degrees or fraudulent credentials to enter professions and unfairly target institutions. And yes, courtroom remarks can often be misreported or taken out of context. But by then, the controversy had already escaped the courtroom and entered the public imagination. Because whether intentional or not, the damage was emotional. People already feeling ignored suddenly felt insulted too. And once that perception spreads online, it develops a life of its own. Segment 4. India's most unexpected political movement. But what happened next is the reason this story became unforgettable. India's youth didn't just protest. They made the entire controversy into oblivion. Within days, a satirical movement called the Cockroach Janata Party started trending online. Its slogan, "I am a cockroach." People began posting edited political posters, fake campaign ads, parody manifestos. Some protesters even wore homemade cockroach antennae in public demonstrations. And suddenly, an attempted insult transformed into something else entirely, a symbol. And honestly, it was brilliant because satire is dangerous to power. Anger can be suppressed, fear can be controlled, but ridicule spreads too fast. The internet took a word meant to dehumanize people and converted it into collective resistance. Segment 5. The deeper problem. But beneath all the memes lies a serious issue. Democracies survive because citizens are allowed to question institutions, courts, governments, media, politicians, everyone. The moment criticism itself starts being viewed as hostility, democracies enter dangerous territory. And that's why this controversy resonated beyond India. Because around the world, younger generations increasingly feel the same frustration, working harder than ever while feeling less heard than ever, disconnected from institutions, economically anxious, politically cynical. And when powerful people dismiss criticism instead of engaging with it, the anger doesn't disappear. It mutates, sometimes into protest, sometimes into satire, sometimes into movements nobody expected. Segment 6. The irony. Here is the irony. Cockroaches survive everything. They survive poison, they survive collapse, they survive hostile environments. And maybe that's why the metaphor accidentally backfired. Because if there is one thing India's young generation has proven repeatedly, it is resilience. Despite unemployment, despite competition, despite institutional frustration, they continue adapting, speaking, mocking, creating. And perhaps that's what made the reaction so powerful. The establishment tried to insult a frustrated generation. The generation responded with humor so sharp that the insult lost all power. Segment 7. The end. Maybe this entire controversy will disappear in a few weeks. The news cycle always moves on. The larger question will remain. Why did so many young people instantly believe the system was talking about them? Because controversies don't explode in a vacuum. They explode where frustration already exists. And perhaps the real story here was never about one courtroom remark. It was about a generation desperately trying to be heard. And when institutions stop listening, even cockroaches start organizing. See you in the next video.